All right, for anyone playing along at home, I didn't really make a fancy start slide. We're going to try to use Chromebooks at the end of class to do a little bit of con practice, make sure we're all feeling good. But we're going to practice problems on our own first. How far could you ride for $20? So guys, with these questions today, with these situations, you got to ask yourself, am I allowed to be equal to the number? Or do I have to be just less than or just greater than? So like in money situations, could we spend all of our money? Yes. Without a credit card, could we spend more than the money that we have? No. Could we spend less? Yes. You don't have to spend all your money. So have that center your thoughts as we work through these problems. We are going to Jenga tomorrow, quizzes on Thursday, unit test on Friday. So Jenga tomorrow, no new homework, quizzes Thursday, unit test Friday. We should be writing things down to help us get to our answers. Some sort of inequality symbol being used. I'm trying to put away my cards, but I feel like I lost half of them. We could spend all... Oh, by the way, taxi, like an Uber, right? If you don't know what a taxi is, it's like an Uber. I bet I could show you pictures of a coax connection or a cable box, or I bet I can show you a lot of things that in my childhood was completely normal, but in your childhood doesn't even matter anymore. Like literally on the internet last night, somebody posted a picture of what is this connection. It was just an audio connection of right-left audio. They literally didn't know what it was because these days there's less of those things. Actually, it was used for a doorbell. It was interesting. But we have $20 that we can spend. So in most transportation situations, you got to pay for the pickup, just in general. You got to pay for them to come get you. Then you got to pay for the miles. So if we're trying to set this up into an inequality situation, we made it through a whole deck yesterday, I think. Lydia, help me out. How do I start setting up what I'm going to spend?
Well, you should start with 5 plus. Because 5 isn't affected by any sort of variable.
So we started by paying $5 to get the taxi to pick me up. Then Lydia said plus, what's the plus?
And then in parentheses, 250D.
It doesn't have to be in parentheses, but I like that you did that. 250D. And then, is that going to be less than, greater than, one of those equal situations? How's that going to relate to the $20 over here?
It's going to be less than or the line.
Ooh, less than or equal, because we could spend all of our money. Aaron, what would we do first to work towards solving this? Yeah, subtract the 5 to say how much money do I have left for the actual distance, right? That 5 was to just get picked up. So now we have 250D, and I don't really need that parentheses anymore. I could keep writing it. But now that there's no other numbers. And then, Jack, what can I do now?
550 by 2.50.
We're really dividing by 2.5. Almost us! Any alert in your head? Any alert in your head? We're dividing. Why not? It's not negative. So D, how far can I go? 6. 7? 6. 6? Could I go 5? Could I go 4? Could I go 0? Oh wait, never mind, drop me off right here. Could I go 7? No, unless you ask pretty please and they don't charge you for the last one, but that doesn't really work. Guys, if you ever look into taxis, it's really interesting. In New York, to have a taxi license costs you $1 million or something. I'm not joking. It's insane. Because they only give out so many certificates that you can operate a taxi, and you make a lot of money, but they charge you a ton of money to have one of those things saying you get to be a taxi driver. So yeah, it's very interesting how much they have to pay to be in business. So yeah, of course they got to charge you. Try this one. Pine Bluff Middle School needs our help. They're hosting a bake sale. And they're going to earn $4 each from the spring fling. Now, they assume they're going to sell everything at the bake sale and make $72 off it. They don't know how many tickets they're going to sell. Could they raise just enough money to pay for the dance? They could, but this committee would like to have money left over. Right? This committee would like to not go broke. They want to have money left over. So that statement means something. They would like to have money left over. I swear.
Pardon the interruption. Would Emery Howell please report to the Perry main office? Emery Howell.
Guys, I figured it was like 3A or 3B yesterday, but I swear there were a dozen announcements. Like one of the afternoon classes yesterday. It was driving me crazy. So with these situations, we want to ask ourselves what happens once, what happens multiple times, how do we solve? I'm going to try to make myself be quiet for 2 minutes and give you plenty of time to solve this with your partner. So it shouldn't just be quiet in here. I should hear you guys talking. Yeah, they want money left over. We want money left over.
328.
Oh, we'll get back in the content at the end of class. One more minute. Actually, I guess like if your computer's open and you finish up this problem on the board, you've written down a couple things, I guess you can do it in order of con. $30 seconds. You guys remember a calculator was on your supply list? We should each have one. I don't keep enough in my room to like give each of you a calculator. You should each have one. It should live in your backpack or your binder. We should be able to pull it out. Jeremiah, help me set this up. What? Actually, just go ahead and start. Ooh, so 4T. I'm going to go capital T because I don't like using lowercase t's. It just looks like plus signs. I don't like them. So that's like when I write things down. When I go to type it, okay, I'll use a lowercase t because that's what they said. So Jeremiah said 4T plus 72. And then, Vivian, what inequality symbol are we going to use now?
We're going to use
Greater than, because this is the money they're bringing in. They want to have money left over.
Pardon the interruption. Would Matt Bailey please report to the Perry
And what
main
number goes
office?
over here? Anyone?
Matt Bailey to the Perry main office, please.
How much
Thank
they
you.
want, right? So then, Harrison, what do you want to do first? There are options here.
Well, I'd probably subtract 72 from 100.
So would I. But this is actually one of those situations, if you want to start with division, all of those numbers divide by 4 nicely. So you could divide first here. The tricky part is remembering that this number also gets divided. So I'm not suggesting that's what you do. I'm just saying you could. But I still like what Harrison said. I'm going to get rid of that constant first. Minus 72. On both sides. All right, so then 4T 40 is greater than, not equal to. They don't want to just have that money. money. They want to, like, you know, be able to throw a party afterwards and say, we pulled off this spring fling dance. Let's order a pizza. So 300.
28.
And then, class, what do we do?
Divide by 4.
Where?
Both
Both Guys, Shama came and left some graffiti over there to help remind you on both sides.
Right
On the
in
board over
middle.
there, like dead middle. So what's 328 divided by 4? 82. Any alarm in your head? No, because what we're dividing by is positive, so no alarm needed. Try this one.
Okay.
We're going to graph this one also. We're going to practice graphing this one also. Yeah, like on an upper line. What are you looking at? The same problem? Mm-hmm. Told you guys. You cannot use backpacks and computers to hide the fact that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. I moved that because Jack was not doing what he was supposed to be doing, and the backpacks there, I was unable to see. I know, but it was in the way area, so I just put it on the floor. It's like a safety thing. I need to be able to see. Guys, some schools don't even let you have backpacks because it's a safety thing. When I was in high school, no backpacks. We had to carry everything.
Oh, we did that at Perry. It sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one weird thing is our table finders are on
Why do I have people just staring at me? All because this one has bigger numbers does not mean it's any more difficult. You know what to do.
That's a lot of zeros.
Liam, help me out. What do we straight up get for free? We get 100 points just for playing. 100 points just for playing. No Chase today. Bummer. Hey Chase, feel better. Hey Chase, don't skip my class. No. Carter, what else happens? We got 100 points for like getting into the game. What else happens? So what variable are we using for that? And then, Arnie, what are we going to set up? What inequality symbol? Like, what else do I write?
That it's greater than, equal to or greater than 18,000.
Anyone disagree? Because I'm a little suspicious. Eva, why are you? What would you gently? What advice would you gently give Arnie?
So I'm pretty sure that he wants to break the record. He needs, okay, it says he needs 1,800,000 points or more. Never mind.
See, if you just get stuck on this word, like I did at first, you might think, well, he's got to go more. But then if you read carefully, like Arnie probably did, 18,000 or more, he's allowed to have 18,000. Arnie's right. But when I first looked at this problem, I fell in the trap of thinking it had to be more. It's 18,000 or more. So apparently the record right now is 17,999.
No,
I guess. 0.9? Okay,
because there's the 100 and it probably was.
so it's 17,950 probably. Yeah, so like whatever. They tell us we need that many. So yeah, guys, it is greater than or equal to. So then, let's just start doing these class answers. No, I still like cards. Rowan, what am I going to do first? Could I divide by 50 first? Yeah, this one's not that. Like, you could divide first here. Guys, my advice, though, is just get in whatever habit you like. I like getting rid of the constant first. It always works, right? Dividing first doesn't always work. So you could divide first here. I'm not saying it's a great idea, but you could. 50W greater than or equal to 17,900. And then Caroline, what do we do now?
You divide by 50
On
on both sides.
both sides. I don't know why I included this. This is not like, that's not your answer. That's just what it gives you, and then you have to adjust it. I think I just put it down there so I make sure that we graph it. So Caroline, what'd you get?
I got W is greater than or equal to 358.
Can we get some confirmation for 358? Yeah, we're good. Graph this. If you have not done this yet, just on a basic number line. Basic number line. Eva, what number do I put on my number line? Yeah, it's really the only number that matters because we know to the right are bigger numbers, to the left are smaller numbers. Kyrie, what do I do? Like, okay, so I put a circle around this, but what do I do then?
Pretty sure you color it in.
Why?
Because the line thing.
The or equal tells us color it in.
And then you do the pointy thingies to be to like the greater.
So we shade and then the pointy thingy. Arrow?
Yeah.
Arrow, yeah.
We already have a thingy. I forgot.
I mean, this is a
I
pointy
forgot
thingy.
the word for it. Threatening me?
No, I'm promising. But what do you?
That's harassment.
No, it's not.
It's close to it.
All right, questions. When we have the or equal, now other tricks I've heard teachers say is like, well, this takes more ink to write, so this takes more ink to shade. Whatever trick you want to put in your head, as long as the variable is what we write first. The other trick people say is this points the direction we shade, right? That this kind of points the direction we shade. As long as your variable comes first, though. Try this one. Yeah, now we're getting into tougher numbers. Ha ha ha. Not all whole numbers. Practice those math skills. Mustafa, Eloise, and Gia. Mustafa, Eloise, and Gia. I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes for this one. These fractions are a bit tricky. I know, that's why I'm turning on music and giving you time. But if this one's a tough one, it might be on the review game tomorrow. Well, it doesn't have any opinion about you. You do not need to pay attention to what I'm writing up here. You do not need to do it the same way as me. But I'm going to just start what I would write down just from the very beginning of like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to do something. All I'm doing is taking the information they told me. Mustafa, Eloise, and Gia together more than 22 articles. I don't understand what this word is. I just what's this word? Oh, it's two T's. I couldn't. That didn't help. The R also looks like a V. It looks like PV. I don't even know. This is why handwriting matters.
But can you read the fin plus dog?
The what?
Fin plus dog.
I just assumed I didn't understand what fin plus dog meant. I mean, I can read it.
Fin and Jake.
Yeah. Yes, and Jake.
Fin and dog.
You can't just say something and you're like, you know. No, I don't know.
Fin, like the guy on my shirt. plus dog. It's me. Who plus her?
There's no nice way to say this, so I'm just gonna say it. I don't care to know. Like, guys, there are certain parts of like our society now that I'm just like, don't care. If it's from TikTok, don't care. If it's like what
It's not from
animated
TikTok,
stuff,
it's a show.
I know. If it's like the current
You
animated,
do know.
no, I know it's animated because now that I see your picture things, like I can tell it's an animated show.
Maybe
I
she's
just
the guy
don't
wearing
care.
the hat. Maybe just
Who's got an answer to this? Ooh, no one's got an answer. Ooh, Liam's almost got an answer. I hope I'm on Liam's team tomorrow for the game.
No, it's more than.
Hey, if you are really far behind, by the way, tomorrow instead of playing Jenga, you might have the opportunity to catch up on work. And by that, I mean, I'm going to tell you, go catch up on your work instead of playing Jenga. Are you on the same problem? Ooh, okay, you're just using the passive things. No, yeah, I'm just sitting around. There's a lot. What do you recommend? Why so many M's?
I'm 33 because I like it. My lucky number is.
So how many M's?
My favorite number is 33. My lucky number is 3.
This one M. So then we have a four M. And then three has it. It's not necessarily it's your own strategy. You're just saying
What is the stock option?
right? So we're going to show the way up here. We just work with the fractions. You might get to the same answer. There's a lot of ways to solve these problems.
Guys, what's 160?
Alright, no one ran away and did not come back yet.
So,
Lila, help me out. What should I start replacing in the inequality that I wrote?
well, you should turn, what was her name?
Yeah, I know your view's kind of, you're at a hard view also. But
The two.
Eloise?
Yeah, and
Gia?
yeah.
Okay.
Turn them into their like fractions.
Okay, so does M stay M? Okay, so M, what's Eloise turn into? A fourth M, where you could have written M divided by 4, but I like working with the fractions. What about G? What's that turn into? 3 halves M. Wait a minute. If I'm already working with fourths, what could 3 halves turn into if I want it to be fourths? It could turn into 6 fourths, right? Because we could do times 2 times 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and write down 6. I want same color though. 6 fourths M greater than 22 still. Questions with why that step? Okay, then what should we do now that we've got M, another M, and another M? Combine like terms, right? If we have like terms, we might as well. How many fourths? Well, wait a minute. This is 4 fourths, right? If it's 1 M, it's 4 fourths. So 7 fourths, 8, 9, 10, 11 fourths. Guys, I'm doing this way on purpose. Even if you solved it a different way, please write this down. I have 11 fourths M. And yes, I can make that a decimal. But I want to show you guys another strategy. How can we turn a fraction into 1 in one step? I want to turn that 11 fourths into 1 in one step. Your hand was up first, Lydia.
Oh, mathematically or physically?
I don't know what you mean by that question.
Technically, you could just erase it.
Lydia. Do you really like it when people in your campaign ask silly questions that just waste time? You like that? You're an interesting DM. here. What do you think your class of 20 people prefers since we have 15 minutes left to potentially do practice work?
Probably the latter.
Probably the latter. And not the one we climb, right? What could we do here?
Actually divided by 4.
That's not one step. Because then I still got to deal with the 11 somewhere, and actually dividing by 4 is not what we want to do because it's already dividing by 4. We could multiply by 4, but I want to do one thing and finish this out. Will,
You can do the big one.
how do we make a giant 1 out of a fraction?
Which is like,
So I got a 4 on bottom here, right? What can I put on top to get rid of a number on bottom? These cancel out to 1. Not that I put a 1 there, they canceled out to 1. Why did they do that? Because if I put a 4 on top, it'll wipe out that 4 on bottom. Right, stick with me here. If I put a 4 on top, it'll wipe out that 4 on bottom. So what should I put on bottom? The 11. This is why I'm asking you to write this down and come this way with me, because eventually you have to learn this. I'm just trying to give you a little teaser, a little taster before we get to the main course of having to know how to do this. Because watch what happens. This would become 44 over 44m. What's 44 over 44? 1! That's what we wanted. But if I do it on the one side, I got to do it on the other, right? So 4 over 11. Now check it. We don't even need a calculator. 22 and 11 can cross-reduce with each other. Now, if you don't want to cross-reduce, just multiply. You could just multiply 22 times 4 is 88 over 11. Or, if you want to cross-reduce, 22 and 11 can both divide by 11. So if we divide that by 11, it becomes 1. If we divide this by 11, it becomes 2. And we end up with 8, which is the same thing we would get here. You don't need to cross-reduce. It's just a time saver. So then, that all became 1m. This became 8. We're done. One step. Now, alternatively, what's 11 fourths when you do that math? What's 11 divided by 4? Wow, you guys are really awake today. If you made it a decimal, so 11 fourths, right? If you made it a decimal, I went back to what I had written in white up there. What do I do now on both sides? Divide by 2.75. But those fractions won't always turn into nice decimals. We've already seen some fractions that turn into gross decimals. So that reciprocal, when you flip a fraction, you can always use a reciprocal to wipe out a fraction. In one step, wipes it out clean away, makes it a 1. I would ask for questions, but I don't really want to because I know that's the first one we tried like that. Try this one. More, not just fractions, but mixed numbers. Sorry, I was thinking you were sitting like there. You were probably in here, and I said you left and didn't come back. Right? You should have been like, Hudson. Because I know you guys are now, but it doesn't mean my brain is firing at 100% every day. I think this is the last problem we're going to do together, and then we're just going to do some practice time. We have 60 minutes of free trial. Those thirds or sixths, those don't work out as nice. Choose for that last one that was real tough and complex. You didn't need to write anything. choice. What happens once? What happens multiple times? Because this is when it's 100% safe to mess up and do it wrong. But if you don't try it, you won't learn anything. Did I talk about my toilet in here? Don't worry, it's not gross. Depends. First time I replaced a toilet. It was like a decade ago. My wife and I bought a house. And I didn't know if I knew how to replace a toilet or not because I'd never done it. First time doing it, I did not get mastery. I found out that I was progressing when the wax ring, there's a thing made of wax, literally, that goes between the toilet and the pipe. Goes in, whoosh, put toilet down. If you do it crooked, there's no coming back. The wax squishes, and even when you flatten it out, like the water can leak out. I found out I was progressing by water leaking to the bathroom below. Yes, toilet water. So that's the only kind of gross part. But I would have never learned how to do it right if I never tried it. But that leak was my feedback, right? This is your chance to get that feedback without your toilet water having to leak to the next floor. You are safe here. Do it wrong. There's your feedback about the table being, immovable. That totally distracted. Are you okay? How many fingers?
4.
Okay, how many fingers? Still 4, depending on how you think about the thumb. But what happens once here? To anyone, let's just do this one together. What happens once? 5 and a 6, right? What happens multiple times? What do we want, or what inequality symbol do we want to use? The variable is L, by the way. What inequality do we want to use? Like what symbol? Less than, greater than? Do we involve an equals, Vivian? Yeah, because can you play the entire free trial? Yeah, you can play the whole 60 minutes, but can you play more than that? So yeah, this one on con, because I know it's tough, what it's going to ask you on con is, hey, pick one of these multiple choice, and then can you play 6? So this is not as difficult as like us having to solve it. If we get asked the question, can you play 6? What do we do with that? Madeline, like if we get asked, can we play 6 levels, what do we do with that? We totally could, but don't have to. You totally could. Solve out, figure out what L is. You want another shot?
You can replace L with 6 and see if that works out.
Substitution. If it's telling us a value for L, we can just try it out. Guys, I'm on the same team as you. I'm not trying to make your life harder. I'm trying to make your life easier. If we don't have to solve this, we don't have to solve this. There are times in life where you'll be at the grocery store and you're like, can I buy 5? Can I buy 6? And you don't have to write out the inequality and solve it. You can literally plug it into, okay, if each of these costs $20 and I buy 5, how much money? Okay, can I buy 6? Sweet, okay. So we can just plug it in. Now, the 7 1/3 though, that's where it's kind of a pain in the butt and why I wanted to talk about this problem. If you are trying to use that in a calculator, fractions are nothing more than divisions, but 7 1/3, and guys, I know some of your calculators have fraction buttons or mixed number buttons, but not all of them do. What would 7 1/3 be as an improper? 22/3, right? So check it. We could do parenthesis, trying to get close in so you guys can see it. Parenthesis 22/3, parenthesis to group that fraction together, because fractions are division. Hey, Jack, throw that away. Times, how many levels? 6. I can figure out what that is. Well, and then, if I add 5 and a 6, do I even really... 5... I know that was 44. Even if I add 6, am I still under 60? Guys, like 5 and a 6, do I really need to be accurate? No. You don't have to be accurate here of exactly what... All it's trying to get you to answer is, can we do 6 levels? We plugged in 6. We got 44 minutes for here. Plus another 5 and change. Yeah, we can totally do this. Questions? Yeah, Lydia.
So,
Ooh, I did have one more problem, but I might just let you guys have the... We need to check con, but sorry, go ahead, Lydia.
how do I do that one?
What do you mean? It has parentheses as well. You do it the same. You just don't have as big of a screen, but it would it would just operate the same. So if we wanted to do the 5 and a 6, we could do 31/6, right? The improper fraction, and we would still be under 50 minutes. But all right, we're not going to do the final question that I had because we need to check con. If you have your Chromebook out, you are welcome to hop into con and do a tiny bit of practice. But we have to figure out who has won. Oh, I should hide that for a second. All right, so 3B was at, now this is not where they're at currently, but we will need to check both classes, because if we're figuring out who won. All right, so if we go based off last week, they were at ring 29, y'all were at 30. It was a pretty tight race. Let's see where we end up here. Oh, that's on the wrong screen. Trust me, I want the epic music. I just was slow on the getting it pulled up. I could, but this has been stuck in my head. All right, ring 31. Oh, I muted my computer. That's what happened. What's this from?
Wonder Woman, Star Wars.
Nope.
Superman.
Superman.
I was close. Marvel's done DC though. Yeah, so much Star Wars. I love it.
All right, 32.
I said Wonder Woman.
MCU is better than.
Mr. Hudson, Marvel or DC?
Not getting into an argument with you guys right now.
Okay, this actually says Star Wars.
Ooh. All right. Ring 32, 84%. That's where we're at. That's us. All right. So let's see where 3B ends up. I'm glad I'm recording this, so if they don't trust me or whatever. All right, let's go. They're coming for you.
No.
See if you can outswim them.
Yeah, what are we at now?
Ooh! Looks like you got them!
Yeah!
All right, nice work. Let's do suckers tomorrow for Jenga. Let's just save them. I'll give them to you guys at the beginning of Jenga tomorrow. We can enjoy it then. Congratulations, nice work. Sorry, 3B. Do your homework.